Right now for a critical condition. One man now fighting for his life in the hospital after a shooting on Colfax Avenue. What neighbors say they heard and what police know about the incidents.
And I'm tracking everything from rain to thunderstorms, wind, and even snowflakes. Latest on all that coming up.
And back in court, the next move for prosecutors in the case against the Clarence doctor accused of overprescribing drugs. What happened as Dr. Eugene Gosi faced a judge this morning.
From the station with the most local news, this is News 4 at 4.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us on News 4 at 4. I'm Christine Kern. In your top 4 at 4, we have a high wind warning to tell you about. It goes into effect tomorrow afternoon. The gusts could be serious, and we're also looking at some showers tonight. Here's a live look over downtown Buffalo. You can see it looks like it's raining in this video. It looks also like it's a little bit windy. Let's get straight to Forewarn Chief Meteorologist Todd Santos. Todd, what are we looking at?
Well, you know, yesterday, if you heard me saying I thought the watches were going to be upgraded to warnings, they were not just upgraded, but they were expanded to include all of Western New York. And it really starts at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we'll go pretty much all day tomorrow. So I'll start with the scenario now. Yes, we have the rain. We'll have 2 distinct windows for strong winds. One of them is actually before this even starts, and it's with a round of thunderstorms. And we'll take a look at that piece in a moment. But I wanted to mention this because this is a prolonged period of gust potential to near 65 miles per hour, mainly out of the southwest. This is likely going to cause some power outages, and it puts most of us in play here across Western New York. So that's one thing we're tracking. Right now, the winds are not all that strong. Time to time, you get a little gust here and there. They're fairly disorganized. Next few hours, this breeze comes around to the south and southwest, and you'll see that here in the gust forecast. So this is the gust potential starting at 8 p.m. Okay, you start to see some bigger numbers, but even if I stop that going into 3 a.m., you start to see some substantial numbers on here. These 50s in Buffalo and Dunkirk, Jamestown as well. It will not just be the lower elevations, as evidenced by seeing Jamestown on there and Springville, but look into 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. I mentioned this the last couple times I've shown this graphic, that this thing a lot of times underestimates winds a bit, which is why we're saying gusts to 65 miles per hour possible. But this thing's putting up 58s, I mean, across a good stretch of the area. That's during the day tomorrow. Once we hit tomorrow evening, the winds shift a little more west and northwest and back off. That wind is also likely to prompt some issues along the immediate lakeshore with a water rise. You know, we call it a seiche, where you shift a lot of the water in Lake Erie off to the eastern side, and that would be for us. So this is the lakeshore areas of Chautauqua and Erie County, and it's mainly even up around Buffalo where you get that really good water rise, because considering those winds are going to be gusty out of the southwest. This is the rain, and we'll take a closer look at this piece coming up. There have been some stronger storms down closer to the Ohio Valley itself. There are a few severe thunderstorm watches there. They do not include anyone even within 50 miles of us, so I'll talk about that piece throughout the evening. But the real focus for us is this time frame, 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Showers roll into the area with thunderstorms. Some of these could have the chance of being near severe potential, so you'd have the opportunity for even 60-mile-per-hour gusts in these storms prior to the high wind warning even going into effect. And this is also the window for the heaviest widespread soaking across Western New York that we've been talking about. Through early tomorrow morning, it stays in the form of rain, and then later tomorrow, we'll bring in a chance for snowflakes. Believe this? All this in just, the next 18 hours. This is the temperature right now. These numbers are actually going up from now to about 3 o'clock in the morning. We have window for all of us to almost hit 50 degrees, and then they come crashing down into early tomorrow morning. So I tried to encapsulate that in this graphic, that temps will climb for the next few hours, and then once you hit sunrise, that's the range that I put on here. So what you can expect when you first step out the door tomorrow morning. And of course, at that point, we're still dealing with some rain, and the winds will really take center stage. So we'll talk more about this, a little bit more on the timing of the thunderstorms, and kind of explore the severe chances in just a few moments. Christy?
Todd, thank you. And remember, you can get the latest forecast in the palm of your hands anytime. Just download our Forewarn weather app. It has hourly forecasts you can customize to your neighborhood, and our live Forewarn Doppler radar. It is free for your phone or your tablet. Buffalo police are looking for the person who shot a 27-year-old man. It happened this morning on Colfax Avenue. The victim was rushed to the hospital where he's in critical condition. News 4's Katie Alexander has the latest information.
The scene here on Colfax Avenue has now been cleared by police, and the only evidence of what happened is blood on the ground behind me after a man was shot here this morning. This is what a lot of residents on Colfax Avenue woke up to find. crime scene tape blocking off a number of houses. Things like bandage wrappers and medical gloves on the side of the road where EMTs had been working at the scene. And several police officers still working to piece together what happened. Many neighbors told me they slept through the shooting, but I did speak to one who says he heard gunshots around 6:40 a.m. and came outside to find a man laying on the ground here. That neighbor says he watched emergency crews give the man CPR before rushing him away in an ambulance. Buffalo police say the man's injuries appeared to be serious when he arrived at the hospital. At this point, they have not released the victim's name or any information about a potential suspect. Interestingly, though, the suspect may have been caught on camera at the scene. A lot of houses here on Colfax have security systems and surveillance cameras. And while neighbors I talked to say their cameras didn't capture what happened, it is possible other cameras in the area can provide clues for police. Buffalo police are asking anyone with any information about what happened to call their confidential tip line at 847-2255. In Buffalo, Katie Alexander, News 4.
Katie, thank you. New at 4, we're also working to get more information on a reported shooting in Buffalo. It happened at Rose and High Streets. You can see the area was sectioned off with crime scene tape. Buffalo police were on scene. Details are very limited. We will update you on air and online as soon as we get more information. Also new at 4, a disturbing story out of Jamestown. Police are investigating after they say they found a dog hanging by a rope on a tree. That dog is dead this afternoon. Officials say a passerby saw the animal in the woods on Halleck Street near Palmer Street. Now investigators are looking for any information on the dog's owner or any information in the dog's death. They say the dog did not have a collar or a microchip. If you know anything, you're asked to call Jamestown Police at 483-7537. A Clarence doctor accused of causing the death of 6 patients was back in court this morning. Pre-trial motions started today in Dr. Eugene Gose's case. Dr. Gose faces a slew of charges ranging from healthcare fraud to improperly dispensing a controlled substance. He's accused of overprescribing pain pills and causing patient deaths. The defense argued to have more than a dozen counts tossed out today. They claim those allegations were already stated in a previous charge. The defense tells us we're still months away from jury selection and a trial starting. Gose is still practicing in Amherst under supervision. News 4's Jen Shantz is following this story tonight, coming up on News 4 at 5 and 6. State police are asking for your help to crack a cold case in Niagara County. They say they found 2 boys found skeletal remains of a 26-year-old man in the town of Lewiston in June of 1991. They say they found the remains while they were picking berries near Black Nose Spring Road. Investigators say the man was bound with a cord. They also say his mouth was gagged with a washcloth. The victim is believed to be an African-American man between 30 to 45 years old. Anyone with information is asked to call the number on your screen. U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer is calling on NRG to keep the water flowing from the Huntley coal plant. The plant's in the town of Tonawanda. It closed in 2016. It still supplies water to several other businesses. Senator Schumer says NRG will stop supplying the water next year. He says it could put thousands of jobs at risk.
NRG's got to reverse course, keep the agreement they had to keep the water flowing, give us a chance to deal with the infrastructure issues, to deal with the redevelopment, the economic redevelopment issues, and not pull the plug on us.
News 4's Kelsey Anderson is looking into this. She'll have a full report tonight, coming up on News 4 at 5:30. We're working to learn more about this crash in North Buffalo. You can see a car slammed into the Vision Works building on Delaware Avenue. It happened at about 7 o'clock. We reached out to police to find out if anyone was hurt. We'll bring you updates on air and online once we get that information. This afternoon, a post office in Bowmansville is temporarily closed after a fire there last night. It started just before 7 o'clock last night at the post office on Harris Hill Road. We're told no one was at the post office when the fire started. If you have a P.O. box at that location, you can pick your mail up at the Lancaster post office. That's on Broadway. Police are investigating how the fire started. Proposed plans to build a travel plaza on Grand Island are now at a halt. The town board passed a law last night that makes it illegal to build truck stops and travel plazas on the island. That means the Love Travel Plaza will no longer be able to happen. Town Supervisor Nate McMurray says a lot of people are mistaking the proposed Love's Travel Plaza with the Welcome Center. That center is currently under construction.
I think people are confused because it's a brand new project and it's a big project, but that is not a truck stop. There's no gas there.
Some truck drivers say Grand Island could use a truck stop. Coming up, News 4's Angela Christoforos talks with people on both sides of the debate. That's coming up on News 4 at 5:30. And coming up tonight on News 4 at 6:30, we're talking about the Buffalo and Erie County Naval Park. It's officially open for the season. Officials there are preparing for a big season of events. A multi-million-dollar expansion is also in the works. Tonight, the park's executive director, Captain Brian Roche, will be joining us live in the studio. He'll fill us in on what we can look forward to this season. Again, that's coming up tonight on News 4 at 6:30, only on the CW 23.